about to do the install on this CTS Turbo catch can kit. As you can see, we have the kit laid out. Got my adult beverage. Probably not the best idea while fucking with your car. But anyway, so we're gonna be taking out this PCV valve. And what this is pretty much an oil separator. So as the oil vapors come up out of the head, the air is supposed to come back down through the intake manifold and into your intake valves. Well, what happens is this fails, or this doesn't separate oil properly like it's supposed to, and you get a bunch of oil vapors that come down through here, heat up and gunk up your intake valves. And if you guys saw my intake manifold installation video, you would see how much oil and nasty shit gets gunked up in there. I had roughly 21,000 miles on the car when I did my intake manifold replacement, and when you see from the videos, it's all nasty shit in there. So what I want to do is go ahead and replace this to reduce the oil vapors and carbon buildup in here, as well as troubleshoot for air surge and misfires. So pretty much what we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking off the coil pack harness to free up the space behind this. We'll pull these coil packs out just to be safe. There's quite a few bolts around the whole PCV valve, as well as the hose. It comes with an adapter for the end of this. As you can see, this is the multi-tap hose that I have my boost gauge hooked up to, but they do have the adapter that fits on here, and I got an adapter with the multi-tap. I'm sorry, I got an adapter with the manifold that has a nipple for the hose, so I'll just put the hose back onto the nipple here. So pretty much this will be gone, and then there'll be hoses running from the valve cover, or the that piece right there. It's gonna be the hose is gonna be running. I think I'm gonna set it up on this side of my intake just because I have a lot more room over here. To me, it just might seem too cluttered to run it down and put it here. So open space right here. We'll get it done right here. So we'll go ahead and start taking stuff apart, and I'll hit another clip whenever we have the multi-tap hose off and the valve off. Alright guys, so as you can see here, I got off the stock PCV valve, which is the positive crank ventilation valve. It was very simple, just I think 10, let's count them, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so nine 30 torque bits, the T30 torque. Got those off pretty easy actually, and it popped right off. So one of the reasons, actually two of the reasons these things fail, and I'm hoping that this is the reason that I've been getting the issue, is that there's this little check valve here, and there's a little spring underneath it, and sometimes the spring gets loose, and under light pressure, when there's more air pressure coming in than needs to come in, this gets stuck open. It's just a little plastic check valve there with a little spring underneath it. Sometimes there's a diaphragm right underneath this, and I don't want to take it apart. I'll clean it up. I don't want to take it apart because if it is still good, then I can kind of clean it up and maybe sell it for a couple bucks to somebody that needs one. But there's a little rubber diaphragm underneath this of the spring, and sometimes the diaphragm gets cut, torn, or just comes unsealed, and it sucks in air, more air than it needs to, or air gets in when it's not supposed to, vice versa, blah blah. So what I'm going to be doing next is taking this seal that's on here, obviously making sure there's no cuts, it's not pinched, because if this is pinched and there's oil leaking out somewhere, that could be an issue as well. But what I'm going to do is just pretty much just transfer this seal to the new cover plate, and then bring it on over here. What we have here is where it would sit, where it sat, right in between these two ports for the coil packs. There is a valve that comes, let me get a flashlight, sorry. There is a valve or a line that comes off, trying to get it set up here. This comes off the back of the valve, or now the plate, and it goes into the MAF pipe down here. So obviously if there's too much air getting in here and going to the turbo, issue. So we're gonna go ahead and transfer that seal and put this bad boy on, and then we'll show what it looks like installed, and then obviously after that we'll hook the lines up in the tank and see how it all fits. So here we go. Alright, got the cover plate back on, easy as pie. Just lay it on, put the screws in, put the 2 coil packs back in, put the harness back on. One thing that I noticed on these two is that when I was pulling the harness off, I pulled these up some, so these were sitting a little higher than these two were, but I noticed it I don't know, shortly after I put these two in. Also, when you're putting this harness back on, make sure you hear an audible click whenever you hear this harness click back into the coil packs. So just FYI. So we got it all hooked up, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take the hoses and the can. We'll take the can first, mount it up over here, and then figure out how to route the hoses. And then I got to find the nipple for my boost gauge. I was trying to go through my boxes of random shit down there, can't find it, so we'll look for it. But here's to the next step. Alright guys, so turns out, I don't know where the hell it's supposed to mount to on this side. The instructions on the CTS website have a picture for it sitting here, but I can't work out where the bracket sits. But luckily they had a picture of this on the passenger side. So we hooked it up here. Actually fit in pretty easy. So what's going to happen is we're going to have a line. It's going to come out of this one. I guess around this way, and then into this, and then back out around and into this. So that's all we got left right now is the lines, and then I'm gotta find the nipple for this so I can hook up my boost gauge. Otherwise I gotta find somewhere else to tap it into. So let's go ahead and put on the lines and see how she looks afterwards. Alright, got it all installed, got the hoses in. I tried to go back and see if I could find somewhere over here for it to fit, but it didn't really work out. This will do for now. Like I said, line out of the cover, through into the top, then back out this way, and then back into the cover. Didn't find the nipple, so I'm just gonna plug off my hose for now. I went back through, made sure all the screws on the cover were tight, made sure the harness for my coil packs were clipped in properly, made sure the coil packs themselves were actually snapped in properly, tighten the lines. These are 1-inch B nuts, so luckily I had a wrench for that. Retighten these and then tighten down the dipstick slash drain plug. So you can see how high your shit is, or how much you got in there. Alright, that's it. So we'll go ahead and start her up in the morning, see how she runs. Alright, so we just got it done starting it up. Problem still exists, so I don't know exactly what my next course of action is going to be. I might try this N75 valve everyone's talking about. However, the new KO4 kit that I have comes with the N75 valve on it, so I may just have to wait until the new turbo gets installed to see if that fixes the issue. If not, then just have to do some more research and find out what's going on. So here's a clip of how it sounds. Same thing as before, same cold start video that I had before where you get misfires and air surge. So, here you go. Alright, so it's the next day. We're about to start it up and see how it goes. Go ahead. Make sure it's in neutral.